Well, like you, I got up really early, all excited about watching the United States men's national team play in their penultimate warm-up game towards the World Cup. 5:15 a.m. to be precise out here on the West Coast. Had a good debate with people online whether it's better to be on the East Coast and have to watch a game that kicks off at 10:30 Eastern Time or be on the West Coast and watch something that starts at 4:35. 4:35, I know a lot of people get up early and have different schedules than I am. Not good for me. Not good. I usually get up around 7, reluctantly, to get the kid to school. Other than that, it's sleeping, because I stay late. My sweet hour is like 11 to 12:30. So I have my own time. I can watch something on the DVR, what have you, peace and quiet. But anyway, that's beside the point. But I am trying to stall as much as possible on talking about truly one of the most discouraging performances by the United States men's national team since they missed the World Cup. It felt kind of hopeless at times. It started bad, it got good for a couple minutes at the beginning of the second half, and then it just went flat again. Nobody put their hand up other than Matt Turner, the goalkeeper, who by necessity had to make several big saves. Otherwise, this could have been embarrassing, an embarrassing result. And there's so much to talk about. And we could have the people that point out, this is Aaron Long. It's Aaron Long's fault. Or it's Jordan Morris. Or it's Paul Arriola. No. Those guys stunk. Not Paul Arriola, he didn't play. But everyone else did too. And there is a more systematic concern here about how this team is going to perform at the World Cup, because they were manhandled, they were bullied. This was the Harlem Globetrotters versus the Washington Generals at times. Dated reference, I know. For those who are unaware of it, the Harlem Globetrotters have never lost to the Washington Generals. That's always their opponent. It would get close for a little bit, and then they'd slam dunk, three-point shoot. That's what it felt like. And we'll break it all down here on the Soccer OG. Check out the Soccer OG podcast. I'll be recapping this game, previewing the next game very soon. We'll have another recap after the Tuesday game, which hopefully goes better against Saudi Arabia. So check out the Soccer OG podcast. Really good one with Jeff Carlisle right now, where all podcasts are available. And please like and subscribe, even though you don't want to right now, because hit the button. Because this is a place where we can come together and wallow in our misery. So let's get into it. The United States lose 2-0 to Japan, who, by the way, if I was Japanese, I would be pumped. They didn't really play all their good pieces. They pressed beautifully. They passed. I mean, the United States could not put together 3 passes. The Japanese were pumping in 5-6 passes. Just a beautiful team to watch, and with such confidence. And they never felt threatened, and they would come in and do what they wanted. This, the thing is that the U.S. late in the game didn't even try to pull level. They were almost playing for a 1-zip defeat. So Daichi Kamada scored the goal in the 24th minute. It was reviewed. By the way, I don't know why they would switch it. I mean, it wasn't conclusive on the VAR to reverse it. And who knows what happens if this game goes scoreless in the half. I don't think much changes. I think Japan still wins this, finds a way. And then in the 88th minute, Kaoru Mitoma, who came off the bench and was superb, like everyone else. So, Japan were very good, right? They're a little bit better. They should have beat Belgium in the round of 16 4 years ago and made the quarterfinals of the World Cup. They were impressive in the group stages. This is a proper program and experienced players. And that's one of the things I want to touch on. The experience matters. It was clear as day. Some of these kids are just not ready, and they talked about not playing in the United States. They are 4-3 now outside of the United States playing. This is a team that's had all the creature comforts, hasn't had to leave home, and now that they've been pressed a little bit with this kind of game, it looks tough. And guess what? They're not going to be playing at home at the World Cup. So there's so many alarm bells here. I'm sorry to say it. They should get out of the group. And things should get better the more experience they get playing away from home. But it's a long list. But youth is a problem. And we saw that against Japan, who are they're a team that's collective age is right at the precipice. Average age of 26, 27. Perfect. USA 24. I mean, even Johnny Cardoso comes off the bench, turns the ball over immediately. Oh, it's not there, right? So let's run through the lineup really quick. The starting 11. Matt Turner in goal. Sam Vines got the nod at left back. I would imagine that means Joe Scally gets the nod against the Saudis. Walker Zimmerman, Aaron Long. That's obviously a pairing that is in the crosshairs, but everything should be in the crosshairs. Serginho Dest at right back. Weston McKennie, Tyler Adams, Luca Della Torre in the midfield. Gio Reyna, Jesus Ferreira, and Brendan Aronson in the attack. 4 changes at the half. Mackenzie Morris. We saw Josh Sargent, who was a bit of a ray of light, and then it kind of dissipated. And then we talked about Cardoso and Malik Tillman. They just looked terrified, right? Lambs to the slaughter. So experience matters. It's too late to reverse that, but I said this in a previous Soccer OG, that we're already young. Let's not get any younger. So maybe there is some food for thought there with regards to the final selections. I'm not saying like the older guys were terrible too, but youth, being young in this situation when you see the deer in the headlights scenario is something you need to avoid. So it was from the jump. There was this great opportunity from Jesus Ferreira. Has to do better there. Didn't register as a shot on target. And then the U.S. wouldn't get a shot on target from that point forward. And I know we can go, Jesus Ferreira, what's up? Yeah, he should do better. But no one else got a shot on target for the remainder of the game? That hasn't happened in 20 games. That is something that you would never expect from a U.S. team. Not even one that plays against Belgium in the World Cup back in 2014. Disturbing statistically, just visually, across the board. The field was awful. By the way, we get all this grief about CONCACAF fields, right? Well, this field in Germany wasn't holding up. It was beat up, and that field's going to get a lot of work because there's a lot of games going to be played there. There's certainly going to be one on Tuesday. I think it's Ecuador and Japan are playing there, so it's they need to fix it. But anyway, this is no built-in excuses. We're just kind of telling you everything that went against the grain here for the United States. Ferreira missed that chance, but then no one came close to getting a shot. I mean, really, nothing. The attack was listless. The pairings didn't fit. And like I said earlier, we can sit here and go, oh, get Aaron Long out of there. He was bad. He did come out the half for Mark McKenzie, who wasn't better. I think Walker Zimmerman was the best of the bunch because he made some interventions along the way in the second half. Trying to pass out of the back with those guys, not ideal. But who's going to do that, right? Chris Richards is probably going to be an upgrade, but who in our group is going to be hitting these sharp balls? I get to see it at LAFC with Giorgio Chiellini. We don't have that. We don't have that. It's not going to be Cameron Carter-Vickers. So that's on Greg. That's on Greg to find something that works. And a lot of this is on Greg. A lot of it's on Greg because this team did not look ready. This team looked, what's the word I'm looking for? It's not, I can't find it, but they're out of their depths. Just like this was a game. I know it was a game, but this wasn't serious business. Naive, perhaps, is a good word. So you had that defensively. You have Jesus Ferreira missing at the front. But to me, the big glaring issue was the midfield. They were abominable. I hate to hit on these guys. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it so much. But I couldn't believe what I saw. That is the functioning part of a soccer team. And it's a 3-man midfield. And, it's too late to go to 4 men. But I was thinking about we need someone else in this midfield because they got overrun. And the amount of turnovers. Can't have that. For so long I heard from people saying, oh, we can't have Sebastian Lletget. He's Mr. Passback. I go, all right. That's all these guys did. Nobody was looking upfield. And even their passes back were sloppy. Luca Della Torre, turnover. Tyler Adams turning the ball over. Startling turnovers, hitting it to a guy in his path facing goal. I mean, cataclysmic turnovers. turnover, turnover, turnover. And that puts pressure on the defense. In reality, you don't want to have your defense under that much pressure. The U.S. wants to possess so that you're not seeing these hair-raising moments with our back four. Fullbacks, Sam Vines, I thought was okay in the second half when he got to go forward. I didn't even know if Serginho Dest played. But Vines was rough like everyone else in the first half. But getting back to the midfield, the turnovers, and there was a stat that there was, I think, 39 turnovers in the attacking third. I'm trying to find that stat. It was like 24, and then it rose to like 39. And that's mostly from the midfield. To me, no one was more disappointing than Weston McKennie. I could not believe the volume of turnover play. You're sitting there going, what's going on? This is a big concern now. Now, we have a lot of guys out. Christian Pulisic was a late scratch, and you can fix a lot of these things with the guys that are out. But sometimes when the rot sets in, it's not like one guy's playing well. He'll get dragged down to the level of everyone else. But you could get Christian Pulisic in there. You could get Anthony Robinson, Yunus Musa, who I thought was missed more than anyone because he could really help control that midfield. But I did expect more from Adams and McKennie. Luca Della Torre obviously getting a cameo start. You can't pound it on that he is not going to be a featured guy like that at the World Cup. He'll get some minutes in the group games, but not in a big 80-minute or 75-minute wad that he had in this game. And then Cardoso and Tillman did nothing to alleviate that. So that whole group was a real miss. So, Musa, Anthony Robinson, Christian Pulisic, Gio Reyna came on in the half. Nothing. A little flair here and there. Brendan Aronson was getting beat up, but he didn't know which way was up. This is counterproductive right now, where you're just ripping these guys. But the turnovers to me is the biggest concern. That has to be clean. And there was a timid element where they were not going forward, and it got worse as the game wore on. And that tells you that they were outclassed. Everything that came out in that game said that they were scared of their opponent. They were like, we can't play with these guys. Clear as day. Maybe we're not that good. I'm starting to believe that too. So who do we go? Pulisic, Richards, Anthony Robinson, Yunus Musa. That's a good chunk. That'll get better. Maybe Josh Sargent eventually becomes the guy. I think I saw enough. Jesus Fernandez is probably going to start. Again, it's going to be illuminated because that early miss, but you can't excuse that. At least get that on frame. So I'm not telling you about a stat where we didn't get a shot on target. But that'll be better. And then, all the subs were bad. So the turnovers were a big part. There's another issue that we talked about on my podcast with Joe Lowry, so check that out on the Soccer OG podcast. Set pieces. We didn't have a lot on attack. The ones we had were poorly executed. There's no plan there. There's no plan. I would imagine we would get more set pieces, certainly with Christian Pulisic, who wins a lot of free kicks. We have people that receive it, but the delivery is, Gio Reyna took the corner kick, and it was, the more disturbing part was the defensive side of the set pieces, where Japan looked good every time. It's Tuesday can't get here soon enough, and I know that there will be a response, and this has to be videotape, lots of coaching material for this team to get it right. But if they come out against Saudi Arabia and you see something similar, prepare for a quick journey to Qatar. I can tell you that. It's not going to be an exciting trip whatsoever. So there you have it. Lots of homework to do. Turnovers, set pieces, experience, and playing on the road. There's more to that. There's more to that than I could tell you. But that's let's keep it constructive to see where this team can go. And there's got to be a better plan here. There's got to be the right horses for the courses moving forward. And we'll have a better time. So Tuesday we'll get up. I don't have to get up super early for that game. I think it's 8:30, so I can sleep in a little bit. I went to the Greek theater the night before. I couldn't help it. It was a good show. But I was ready. Soccer OG. Check out the Soccer OG podcast where all podcasts are available, and the Soccer OG here on YouTube under my name, Max Bretos. Like and subscribe. We'll see you very soon.